So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Digital Explain to My Mom Live. This is the first live edition that we do. So it's a great adventure, a great test, but also a great experience, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Today, I will be joined by Nick Rouquette from Movable Ink. And I will call him in. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Cheetah. Hi, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Cheetah.
Thank you for joining, Nick. Nick works for a company called Movable Ink. They have an incredible technology, and I'm really happy to have Nick on board today to tell us about him, but also tell us about Movable Ink, what they do, and what makes them unique. So the name of the show is Digital Explain to My Mom, and as the name says it, we try to explain things in words my mom would understand. So Nick, for you today, I have a small surprise. As you might know, I have Moroccan roots, and in Morocco, when you visit a family, when you visit people, and you get there, they always ask you how you're doing. And so they will not ask you on how you're doing, they will ask for every single member of your family, your neighbor, everyone. So in order to warm us up today, I'd like to do with you the labas game. Labas means I'm fine. So I'll ask you a couple of questions, and all you need to do is to say labas. Can you say that?
Okay, labas.
Can you say labas?
Labas.
Good. So, labas. I like it.
Labas.
Okay, there we go. Labas. So, Nick, how are you?
Labas.
You can say labas.
Labas.
Good. How's your family doing?
Labas. Thank you.
How are children doing?
Labas.
How are the children going?
Labas.
The wife?
Labas.
The business?
Labas.
The neighbor? Alhamdulillah.
Labas.
So that's good. So we are warmed up. Great. So let's start. So as I was saying, you work for Movable Ink, but tell us more about you.
So my name is Nick. I'm based in London, in Surrey, which is a lovely part of the south of England. Born and bred in France a few years ago, and I have been sort of lucky enough, I think, to live in the UK for the last 18 years. So pretty good experience. And I'm married to a lovely British woman, originally from the north of the UK, and I'm from the south. So we chose to go the extreme. She's from the north, I'm from the right of the south of France. So we met in the middle in London. And I'm lucky as well to have two kids, 7 and 4. They are labas doing well, but they are taking all the bandwidth from internet connection in the morning. So we should be fine this afternoon.
That's great. Labas. So, I mean, it's a real adventure. So how did you get from where you started to where you are today?
It's a good question, and that's been an adventure. And it's funny enough, that's the theme of at Movable Ink for this year. But I started in France working in the financial sector. I was working for a bank. Learned the basics of client facing and sort of customer management. That was great, but feeling a little bit prehistoric, as you can expect, at the time from a bank. And I decided to move to the UK for 2 reasons. I just wanted to improve my English. I'm not sure I've managed to do that, but let's see. And then the second thing, I wanted to change sector, right? I just wanted to work in, let's call that the tech space. At the time, the internet was booming, so I was just so really keen to be part of that adventure. And I started to, after going back to uni in the UK, I joined a few tech companies in London. And then I guess fairly more recently, I worked for 7 years for a company called CheetahMail, which was at the time the biggest platform you could use to send emails. And I really, really enjoyed that. So I was working with the global clients and sort of working with them on their digital strategy. Then I worked with a few other sort of tech marketing companies. And 2 years ago, through connections, I happened to connect with somebody at Movable Ink, and I was fortunate enough to be able to join the company and specifically the partnership function. So, like a very interesting experience, and hopefully more to come. And I think there are so many things that digital space can offer that I'm very excited about.
And that's very interesting. So you work for Movable Ink. So what are you guys doing?
Essentially, we are a SaaS company. So we've got a software, obviously operating as a not a software that you have on a CD and then you insert in your computer and then you install that into your computer. We obviously in the SaaS age, and what we do essentially, we generate content in a scalable way. So we were born 10 years ago out of the, and it's very relevant for the weather nowadays, but out of the sort of the frozen email era, I would say, where when you were getting email in your inbox, the content was what it was when you were getting your inbox, right? If we can relay that to a leaflet that your mom would get in her letterbox, the content of the leaflet was frozen in a letterbox as well as frozen in the inbox. And we've changed that. And essentially what we do, we use data to essentially create content in real time. So instead of creating the content before sending a campaign, essentially brands have the ability to tweak and change the content when you decide as a consumer to engage and to open the email. So we've been doing that for the last 10 years. We've launched last year the ability to do the same thing on mobile, which is very exciting, right? Everybody has been using app of the last year for probably sad reason, right? But I think we've seen a huge engagement with apps, and we've been embracing that channel. So very, very exciting. Obviously, we're all about content, but we absolutely need data. So there is no doubt about that. We know that data is new oil, and then we surf on that wave, and we essentially activate data to create content. And we can connect to, regardless where the data lives, we can connect to that data to create content. So pretty exciting adventure at Movable Ink. We've got 350 people globally. HQ in Europe is based in London, and the great news is that we are hiring. Right, we are hiring in the US, we are hiring in the UK and Europe. What we say also about Movable Ink is, I think they've found the right balance between a great team and great people, a great product, a good level of innovation, and ultimately a controlled growth. So I think the company and the leadership team is very much in control of the growth. So we know that we're doing well, but I think they are doing the right things and certainly making the right decisions all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So getting back to what you guys are doing. So if I would receive an email from a brand today and they decide to, so let's say a retailer sending a new promotion for the new Samsung phone, for example, and they run out of stock, and I open the email tomorrow, the content of the email might be changed with another iPhone or another device that would be good for me. Is that kind of the idea of what you guys do?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think we've been helping, I think, a lot of brands last year. Everybody may have experienced this the situation where you receive an email, you hope that you can actually click and buy what you are being sort of shown on the email. You click, you land on the website, and there is nothing in stock, right? So what we are doing, instead of deciding the content when when the brand is sending the email, we can essentially look at the website in real time when you open the email and see if the specific product is in stock or not. If it's not in stock, we simply change the image with an image of a different product, and all that in real time. So so everybody will essentially go through the same experience, and we can also look at different other data points. So a pretty cool technology and very relevant, I think, in certainly the digital area, and certainly what we've seen, and we've been through last year.
Yeah. No, I think it's very relevant because you can remove a lot of frustrations that people have with promotions. You hope to see the product and then it's not there, and then you're frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. So I think it's beyond driving revenues, and also we help marketers to save time. I think ultimately, what's good about Movable Ink and a lot of digital technologies is that we are making people's life easier, right? And we know that when it's easy, people are happy and they will buy, they will be more loyal. So the fact that we prevent you clicking on an email when we know something is not in stock, I think that's now for us the basic of a digital experience. So yeah, pretty exciting, I think, to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, no, it's good. And yeah, I guess the complexity behind it is the way that emails were being sent. They were a static piece of content, and now you make it dynamic by some movable ink magic.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, we apply our magic, and if you like, the email becomes alive, right? Like a website. So every time you engage with email, the content that you see is actually all updated and not out of date as it was the case before.
Okay. No, great. And what do you do? So you talked about partnerships. So can you tell us what it is you're doing then?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm looking after partnerships. So obviously the digital ecosystem is made of different tools, and we are part of the ecosystem. And my role is very much to work with partners to certainly bring value to them, also value to the end clients. While we are all client focused clearly, and one of my objectives is to ensure that we can connect the right technology together to really drive value for the brand, also ultimately to improve the experience of their customers.
Okay. And our program is called Digital Explain to My Mom. So does your mom know what you do, and how do you explain her what you're doing?
I think she kind of know what I'm doing. Certainly, I think she gets the I think she gets the partnership side, but I think she would probably summarize, I think he's doing advertising in email, which is okay. But I'm guessing, I think that there is more work to be done from my side, and I will certainly share the podcast with her. But essentially, I think if I was to explain, for example, to my mom or to your mom, Sultan, what we do, essentially in very simple terms, we've got a software, right? And obviously it's not, as I said before, a CD that you insert into your computer. That's a software that is available from any computer that has an internet connection. So that's very much the concept of software as a service, or people will have heard about Saas. Essentially, what we do, comparing to your leaflet that you will get into the post, we simply generate the images when you decide as a consumer to open the email. So if you think about typical email, and I would hope that your mom has a mobile phone, what happens when you open an email? Her mobile will load the images, right? And instead of loading static images, we essentially go and fetch images into our servers, and then we show them the images that we've created. So all that in real time, and that happens obviously within milliseconds, so nobody can see what's happening, but that's happening in the background. And so that means that there are great opportunities, I think, in terms of experience. We talked about product availability and not showing something to somebody that is not in stock. But we've seen a lot of last year of clients using us to, for example, showing valuable slots, right? So we know that a lot of retailers or the clients have been operating on a appointment-only basis. So we've got the ability to show you in an email what are the slots available to me. For example, if I need to go to the optician and try my new glasses on, so we can essentially show you in an email what's available, what are the slots available to you, and then you can book directly from the email.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and this is very much, And I was going to say, so we are very much a continuity of direct marketing, right? Where your mom has experienced probably the same as mine, sort of leaflets in the letterbox and looking at the list promotion. We are an extension to that, but if you think about leaflet, we can essentially change the images and remove and cut the images. When you take your leaflet, right? But on that instance, the leaflet is an email that you consume onto a computer or a mobile phone.
Yeah. No, it looks to me very, very valuable, and I think my mom would get it, especially when you talk about the leaflets and everything. And she had a smartphone, and she's sending me messages through WhatsApp every day. So if I don't call her, so on that side, it's good. So getting back to your job, it looks to me like you have a very easy job, or is it challenging? And what are the challenges that you're facing?
I would probably challenge that statement, Susan, but in every job, I think there are some positive and some challenging aspects. I think I love my job. I think we've got an amazing partnership team that is part of an amazing company. My specific challenge is, because I'm working on specific markets in Northern Europe, is really to explain to partners what we do and how we can help them and how we can help their customers. So there is a lot of education, right, to be done, and being able to explain in very simple words to a lot of people what we do is part of the challenge that I've accepted 2 years ago when I joined Movable Ink. So challenging, but certainly very exciting, because we are building something new in different markets.
Yeah, I think we are both fortunate to work in organizations that are technology driven and changing people's life in one way or another, which is really cool. So let's say you meet young Nick. What would be the recommendation you would give him at the start of his career, or somebody else you meet at the start of his career?
I would say to him, just do it again, right? And where I started was very much opening up to new things, right? And my advice would be to anyone starting their career and hopefully considering a career in digital would be just travel, right? Go out there and just get exposure to other cultures, go and sort of live in different countries, just understand, how people are thinking, differently. I think that's very enriching as an experience. I think that's a different, good experience to see how that the world is not uniform, and there are some differences, but also some common things between cultures, countries, etc. And the second thing is really push yourself outside your comfort zone. Right? I think that's always a bit uncomfortable when you're trying something new. But ultimately, if you look back, you realize that you've learned something, right? And then suddenly you're much more confident the next time you try the same thing. So I think it's important, and I think it's very rewarding to do something new all the time and pushing yourself and not staying in your comfort zone. I think for me, what I've seen is that it gives you a very good sense of achievement, right? When you're trying something new and then you are very happy of the outcome. And then if you fail, right, that's okay. As long as you learn from it, I think that's the most, thing that people should bear in mind when they start their career.
Yeah, that's. I think especially the failing point is a very interesting one, because in many cases we are afraid of failing. While actually, if you embrace the failing and you can explain it, even in a job interview, in many cases, it's being seen as a bonus. But of course, I think you need to learn from.
Yeah, I think the most important, in the context of an interview, I think the most important part is what have I learned from it, right? And if you carry on failing, but you're not learning anything from your failure, obviously that's a uncomfortable, I guess, circle. But I think it's all about learning, ongoing learning, I think, for me. And when I arrived in the UK a few years ago already, I went back to uni, for example, so that was all in English. I couldn't really understand half of what the people were saying, but again, pushing yourself, and also I think education is very important. There are plenty of resources out there available to you from a computer, so I think there are some opportunities to self-train, but also to take more formal qualification through university as well.
Yeah, that's very cool. So is there something exciting you look forward to or you would like to share with us?
Yeah, so I think probably for everybody, feeling very hopeful for this year. I think we've got vaccine. I think it looks like the health crisis will be over as soon as possible. Let's hope that. I think kudos to the parents on the podcast and yourself. I know, Cheetah, you're also in that situation. I think parents are experiencing difficult times, and kids as well, right, and teenagers. So let's hope, let's be positive, and there is hope, I think, coming up. From more of a professional point of view, we've seen, I think, digital companies doing well to very well. Last year, we were one of them. I think brands understand that there is an urgent need to embrace the digital space. So we are part of that venture, which is great. I think from our perspective, we are also innovating in terms of products. Later this year, we're going to be announcing an AI-based product. So I'm not going to dive into that too much, but really, artificial intelligence is nothing new, and we've been sort of looking at that for long enough, I think, to come up with a product that's going to be solving, I think, a lot of problems and be very impactful for organizations. But I think in relation to the market and digital space, what we'd like to say is that we are very fortunate because we are, because of the growth and the positive, outcome of 2020 for Movable Ink, we are hiring. We're hiring, a lot in the US, but also in Europe. So be happy to share with you the list of opportunities available to everybody. That's also available on our websites. But yeah, I think digital overall, I think that's there is exciting times ahead, and we're offering people to be the opportunity to be part of that journey, which is very exciting. We are building this year a team in Germany, so we are very much expanding in Europe, which is super exciting.
That's super cool. So the best way for people to reach out to you would be via LinkedIn?
Yeah, people can reach out.
The best way for people to get in touch with you?
On LinkedIn or via you, obviously, or we've got a website. But yeah, feel free to reach out on LinkedIn if you've got any questions, regarding Movable Ink. But also, I think digital in general and careers in general, happy to take some time to brainstorm with people and the young people out there.
Okay, fantastic. So, Nick, I really want to thank you for taking the time today. I wish you a great day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Stay safe.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me again. Great opportunity, I think, to talk about digital, and I think specifically, I think the opportunity for people out there that the space can offer, and hopefully, just give me a shout, but hopefully your mum will now understand a bit better what we do at Movable Ink. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, I hope that all the moms will get it now. So thank you so much. So this closes this session today. Thank you everyone for attending, and looking forward to the next episode.